Good Saturday morning, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is December 31st, 2022, 7:50 a.m., and we are in Week 17 of the NFL's 2022-2023 season. That started on Thursday night when Dallas beat the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, and tomorrow, 11 teams are still mathematically able to make the playoffs. Obviously, that's going to change. That'll move down. In the AFC, there are a lot of things, but the AFC East, every team, and the NFC East, every team is still eligible to make the playoffs, still mathematically alive. Um, we're going to stick and talk about the AFC East right now in our JETS Jets. Um, they have this path to get to the playoffs. Win both games, Seattle, Miami. Miami has to lose one game. New England has to lose one game. Or New England has to lose one game. This is the way it works out. First of all, Jets have to win. Nothing happens if the Jets don't win. Earlier in the day, Miami will play New England. Now, obviously, one team is going to lose there. And the next week, the Jets have to beat Miami, and they're in. If, let's just say, Miami loses today, New England wins. Okay, we need New England to lose next week. They're playing Buffalo. And you'd say, all right, so they're playing Buffalo. Well, the thing is, Buffalo is playing, I think it's Cincinnati this week. I think they're playing Sunday night or Monday night. If Buffalo clinches the spot, they already won the division, but if Buffalo clinches a seed, they probably don't start their starters next week because they played them a full game. So what Buffalo does too may affect what the Jets do next week, or how the Jets, not what the Jets do, but results of who the Jets need to lose. Bottom line, Jets have to win both games. So we have the playoff picture for that for the Jets. You have Mike White now named the starter. He'll start the rest of the season, barring any problems, any issues. Zach Wilson will not even be dressed. He won't be active tomorrow. I don't like that part of it. Here's my thing. Flacco did what he had to do his first 4 games, his first 3 games. He went 1-2. Okay? He pulled the Cleveland game out of a hat and was a magician. Okay? But it counts. It still counts as a win. I don't want to care. I don't want to hear it. The way the Jets gave up that 51-yard pass play to the Lions, the way the Jets gave up the punt return to the Patriots, things happened, and this was actually a positive for the Jets. So it's a win. It counts. But when Flacco was called upon after that, Flacco came in a downpour in Buffalo. He played 3 plays, and basically one play was a incomplete pass where he almost threw a pick. Second play, he was sacked, and then on the next drive, he came back and he strip sacked and fumbled the ball away. And that was on a drive where the Jets had just got a safety, and then that was a different drive, but that was on a drive where the Jets were moving the ball, and then Mike White just got slammed for the second time in Buffalo. So they activated Flacco. Is it because they want nothing to do with Zach now? Is it because they feel Zach doesn't give them the best chance? My thing is, and maybe I watch too many movies, Zach is the backup. They need him to come in. The energy for him in a stadium where he's not the home team, he doesn't have the boos raining down on him. Maybe he steps up. I mean, maybe I'm asking too much because this kid has had a few chances this year. And I think that was part of the Jacksonville game. Besides the defense not really answering after that first drive or so, Zach came into a stadium where they didn't want him on the field. The fans were already looking for the backup to come in. And that's when you get Svevla come in. So the Jets have had 4 quarterbacks throw a pass this year in a game. I mean, just ridiculous. But anyway, so I would have rather had or have Zach as a backup tomorrow, but he's not even dressing. Coach Sala, I have trusted him. He has made some good decisions. He's made some not so good decisions. Um, he keeps saying that there's a place on this team for this young man. We're not going to give up on Zach. If that is the case, then Zach should be the backup tomorrow because Flacco does not want to play. Okay, Flacco does not want to go out and get hit. Flacco does not want to play the elements. And I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like in Seattle tomorrow, but Flacco doesn't want any of that. Okay, and rightfully so. He earned the right to make this choice, but then don't dress him. Okay, put Strevler in as a backup if you want, which I don't think is the right thing because Strevler really can't throw a pass. Keep Zach there. Let Zach feel this atmosphere where he may be called upon. He's never been he's never been that guy where he may be called upon. He's either been starting or he's been inactive. But listen, the coach is putting together a game plan. They've had 10 days to put this game plan together against Seattle, a game they have to win. So, that's where we are with the Jets, their quarterback situation. And of course, in total Jet fashion with everything that's going on, Mike White gets hurt. Mike White can't play. Zach plays 2 games. Zach loses both games. And now with Mike White back and Zach basically not starting in the rumblings that, Zach's not even dressed, that he won't be on the team. You have Derek Carr, who was told he won't start the rest of the season, so he's kind of walking away from the team. You have Lamar Jackson, who was injured. He hasn't been playing. What happens to his contract? You have Jimmy Garoppolo, who was injured in San Fran. He hasn't been playing. What happens to his contract? You have Aaron Rodgers, who has not been happy in Green Bay, but still has a big contract. What happens with him? You're talking, you have 2 weeks left of the season, regular season, and then possibly beyond, and they're still speaking about next year's quarterback. And for one thing, I'm hoping right now that, and I don't think it's happening, that the Jet coaching staff is not looking at that. Saleh is not looking at that. Maybe Joe Douglas is because he's not part of a game plan. But at this point, I think it's premature to say Mike White's the starter next year or Mike White will be replaced by Derek Carr or somebody next year. Let's get through the next 2 games and hopefully beyond. So, there's a lot going on with this team, a lot going on with this game. The team, I think, reacts better to Mike White playing. I don't think they have any, I don't say, the word is confidence in Zach. And I don't think Zach rallies this team. Zach stands there. Zach has no emotion. Zach, I don't get the personality he has. Maybe it's a different generation. I mean, but just 13 years ago, you had Sanchez, and Sanchez was part of that offense. I don't think he was the leader on that offense on the 09 and 10 seasons when they made that run. The 09 season, obviously, he was the rookie, but he had Mangold. He had DeBrickashaw Ferguson. He had Thomas Jones. He had Braylon Edwards. He had Jericho Cotchery. He had LaDainian Tomlinson. They stepped up and was the leaders of that offense. And Sanchez, I think, had the confidence for the most part with his players. But Sanchez was given a raw deal also between bringing in Tebow and then drafting Geno Smith, who, ironically now the Jets will play tomorrow. So they it's just a different personality. I think in a different generation. I know it's only 11 years, but I think that's what it is. You have quarterbacks on the field, young quarterbacks who can be leaders, and you have young quarterbacks that, you look at Pat Mahomes, and when he goes out there, they know they're being led. Him and Travis Kelsey and Pacheco are leading this team. You have a young quarterback in, I can't think of his name. Uh, what's his, in Buffalo, Josh Allen, who, leads on that field. So I don't know if that comes with time, but for a team that has not been in that big game in over 54 years, patience is very low. And I think they need a standout quarterback. I'm all for drafting another one, maybe not as uh, early in the draft as we have. Mike White next year is our starter, or a veteran quarterback is brought in, and a veteran quarterback that has some miles left on his tires. Not a one and done, not a two and done. A guy that could be here 3, 4, 5 years, and declined his role in the team. But listen, right now, the concern for this team right now should be the next two games and hopefully beyond. So that's what's going on right now. I'm going to go over some of the games tomorrow. Some of the games that are being played tomorrow and my predictions, and then I'll tell you what I think our Jets are going to do. So, two old friends face off tomorrow. Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They play in Tampa Bay. Both teams, I believe, are still eligible for the playoffs. Carolina wins out. They are in. Sam Donald, Tom Brady. Right now, Carolina's getting 3.5 points um, from Tampa Bay. As much as I'd like to see Sam Donald succeed and make the playoffs, because I always like Sam, um, I rooted him. I was a big Sam fan as much as there are a lot of Zach Wilson fans out there because I really wanted him to work out. He just didn't. Same old story. But I think Brady. Uh, there's just something about Brady, and I think that the Tampa Bay Bucks win this game, um, and I think they cover the 3.5. Cleveland at Washington. Washington's still alive. The Commanders still alive. Cleveland has been eliminated. I believe Cleveland's getting 1.5 in Washington, um, just because they're eliminated. I think Deshaun Watson is still going to try to prove himself again with being out and then coming back these last few weeks. I think Washington loses this game. They don't cover. Let me go back to Carolina Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay wins 31 20. Cleveland Washington, I think, is a lot closer, but I think it's 27-24 in favor of the Browns. You got the Chicago Bears at Detroit. Detroit still with a chance to make the playoffs. Chicago just reeling. Detroit giving 6 points to Chicago. Detroit's an up and down team. Detroit reminds me a lot of the Jets, from their coaching down to their players and their quarterback. 6 is steep. I think Detroit wins, but I don't think they cover. I think Detroit wins 23-20. Then you got Miami at New England. And you know what? I'm not even going to pick this game because I don't care. I just, want New England to lose, but I'm not going to pick this game. Let's see. San Fran at the Raiders. Raiders still, um, with the controversy with benching Derek Carr. San Fran has, I believe, won 8 in a row. They're giving 9.5 points. San Fran defense has been really good. I think 9.5 points is a lot. I'm going to take the Raiders with the 9.5, and I think it is a 24-17 San Fran win. Minnesota at the Minnesota at the Packers. Minnesota getting 3. Green Bay still alive. Um, Minnesota, listen, they're 11-3. They obviously beat the Jets. They came back on the Colts. They're a team you don't sit back on. Uh, and I think Green Bay, as much as they want to say that they're still able to do it, I don't think they do it. I think Minnesota wins this game outright, 17-10. Uh, let's see, and then you got Buffalo, Cincinnati Monday night. Uh, in Cincinnati, Buffalo and Cincinnati trying to establish the seeds that they're going to have. I think Buffalo wins this game. Buffalo is giving 1.5 points to Cincinnati at home. Um, Cincinnati's a good home team, but I just think Buffalo wants to solidify the number 2 and the number 1 spot. They definitely want the number 1 spot. They wanted to go through Buffalo, get the first round bye, get deep into January with that weather. I think Buffalo wins this game, and I'm going to go Buffalo wins 27-20. So let's go back to our JETS, Jets, and see the line of that game. So the Jets are getting 1.5 points. So to me, that's telling me that the Jets are basically favored in this game because home team gets 3 points. Okay, so if a home team is getting 3, or it's a 3-point favorite, and now they're getting 1.5. It's just saying that they think the Jets have a shot to win this game. I'm going to take the Jets, obviously, the 1.5. If I had a bet with my heart, I think Mike White goes out there. He plays a great game. He throws, 2 touchdowns. The Jet defense gets it right, and they win 23-13. If I had a bet with my head, they tell me put your money on this. I take the Jets, and I say the Jets win 20-17, and they live for a week 18 showdown with the Miami Dolphins for a win and in. It's going to be a long, what do we got? 24, a long 32 hours until this game kicks off. I know that they flew out yesterday. It's going to be a long wait watching the early games. Obviously tomorrow being New Year's Day, it's a little different feel. You maybe get up a little later. But we waited 10 days, and now you're going to wait another, an extra 3 hours and 5 minutes because the game is in the West Coast. But anyway, those are my picks. Reach us and tell us. Are you flying out to Seattle? Are you in Seattle? I saw some posts on Facebook of people flying out, on Twitter, people flying out, representing. Jet fans have been really representing in the away games this year. So we are to take off. Follow us on Twitter at the Jets Takeoff is the Twitter handle. You can email us at thejets_takeoff@gmail.com. You could follow us on Facebook. The Takeoff is the Facebook page, or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. The channel is the Takeoff. The YouTube channel, I'm sorry, the account is the Takeoff. The YouTube channel is at the Jets Takeoff. You can Google that. You can Google Alex Parziale. Subscribe, retweet, forward, like, put comments. I'd love to hear from you. And Monday or Sunday night is going to be either really, really good video, or it's going to be almost a recap, almost a disappointing video. Haven't done an exciting video in a while. If you think back to early November, where the Jets beat Buffalo, and you really thought that was the time that they were going to catapult. And since then, they've only won one game. So they were 6-3 at that point. They got to 7-3 on November 27th, or 7-4, and now they are 7-8. So, wishing you a happy, healthy, blessed, whatever you say, weekend and New Year. I hope the new year is better than the previous one for you, and it is a happy one.